I had a very bad childhood, and my marriage is currently reliving my childhood for me. I came from a broken polygamous home. I grew up to know that my dad went bankrupt and we were in debt. He also had 3 wives and 15 children. Growing up was hell and traumatic for me. My primary education was on and off. We were often tagged the debtors from one school to another because we could never ever pay school fees. After my primary school, I went to a public secondary school. I was a very talented child. I started paying my own bills at the age of 15. I do henna and some other stuff to buy clothes for myself, books and so on. Soon I started feeling the urge to run from home, not because I was wayward, but because of the pressure. There was no peace in my home. Every day is one fight or the other, one conflict or the other. When I turned 15, I had a boyfriend that I always run to. He was 2 years older than me, so I go to his house whenever there's no peace in my home. I stay there all day, and when it's time to go home and tells me to go home, I'll start crying because I never want to go back. So when my mom found out I had a boyfriend, she beat me mercilessly that day. There's no particular object she didn't use. My mom used sharp objects to beat me and give me injuries all over my body. I was really depressed at that young age because the only place I could escape to when my house was just noisy and full of conflict is no longer there. So I was always indoor, crying and sleeping. After my secondary school, I went to learn tailoring. At that time, there was this guy who has been asking me to date him, but I didn't. So when he found out my birthday was coming, then I was turning 19, so he asked to take me out and I obliged. He took me out on his birthday and took me to his place, and he attempted to force himself on me. But I used all the strength in me to resist him, and thankfully I did. After that incident, he started sending me gifts and asking for forgiveness through my stepbrother, who was his friend. My stepbrother has been collecting money from him, promising his friend that he shouldn't worry, that he's going to convince me to date him. After all the begging and gifts, I accepted, so we started dating. I was still very young and naive. So during the relationship, after we made love for a few times, I got pregnant. When I found out I was pregnant, this guy has already traveled out of the country. He didn't call me since he traveled. I ran to my stepbrother to tell him that I missed my period, so he said I might be pregnant. So he gave me the guy's number. I called him. He said he was not responsible, but he would send me money to get rid of it. I was scared and I didn't know what to do. He sent the money to that my stepbrother, but he spent half of it and gave me half. So I took this money to a particular nurse, and she told me that it was not enough for the process I wanted to do, that I needed to get more money. So I started looking for money. I practically borrowed money just to be able to get rid of it. So the nurse did her thing, but after like a month, I didn't see my period and my tummy was growing. I just knew that something was off. After a few months, I started bleeding again, and I felt something fall down from my body, and it has already formed. It already had the shape of a baby. But after then, everything was okay. I started seeing my period again. Long story short, I met my husband a few years ago. We dated for about a year before we got married. And thankfully, my marriage was beautiful in the beginning. I had forgotten all about my childhood until I had my first child. After my first child, everything practically changed in my marriage. My husband no longer compliments me. He no longer sees me. My marriage was just off. He just goes to work, come home and sleep. He barely even touches me, barely notices me. So I started doing extra things to look good, to make myself look presentable and all of that. And that was when he noticed me for a few while. And during that period, I got pregnant for my second baby. My baby is currently 6 months old. And I can tell you that throughout my 9 months pregnancy of this baby, my husband touched me only once. For the whole of 9 months during my pregnancy, my husband touched me only once. This child is 6 months old and he still has not touched me till now. All he does is goes to work, come back home and eat. If he comes home and I have not made food or anything, it's a problem. My sweet husband became abusive and started calling me all sorts of names, raining insults at this point. I don't even think I'm married anymore. It's as if I'm single in this marriage. Now, everything I try to forget about my childhood is coming back to me. It's making me really sad. It's making me depressed. I came from a broken home and it seems like my home is broken right now. I'm not happy in this home, and even if I decide to leave, where do I go to? Do I go back to that polygamous home that I tried to run away from all my life? I practically have nowhere to go. I'm just a roommate to this man. I just cook and clean and nothing else. He doesn't see me. He doesn't even talk to me. My husband pays the bills, pays the children's school fees and feed them, but apart from that, there's no companionship, there's no friendship. Most painful thing about all of this is I have no confidence to leave, because even if I want to leave, I remember where I'm coming from, and where I'm coming from is even sadder than where I am. At this point, I don't know what to do. I need help. I need prayers. I need counseling. I just don't know what to do at this point.